Especially compared to the rest of the game, is what I mean.
Well, I mean, granted, yes, it would be a dick move, and it's not far from what they do here.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'll get back to you.
And,
Busy.
yeah, the flame burns a little hotter, but this isn't the fully upgraded one yet. Although I'm getting there.
Yeah, the next time you upgrade, it becomes blue.
Way to spoil that.
Well, I spoiled it, so ha.
Hey, you used the olive fire, and it actually kind of worked.
Hey.
I mean, I would use it more often if it weren't for the fact that it uses the whole can, and it goes up exponentially in cost because, well, as you see, the capacity goes up to 150 units of flame. So, you know, granted that does move up the damage, but it's, you know, scaling wise, it's not really worth it.
I'm surprised that shock thing didn't, like, trigger the pregnant.
I know that's a very interesting point. I've wondered about that myself, but I think it's like the only time it's ever happened, so I never really bothered to question it.
You know, something I've always had a sense of, but only kind of just realized, is that you loot and use kinesis a lot to loot because you're very aware of that there may be triggers right in front of where that loot is.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad you caught on to that.
It kind of defines your playstyle in a way. It's kind of the cornerstone of it.
Well, that and I'm lazy.
Well, there is that. It does get the loot faster to reach across, but you're also kind of very careful about where you stand while you do it.
Now, if only the rest of my playstyle was that smart.
Well, you know, we have our strengths and weaknesses.
Well, if nothing else, maybe in the other game you can cover my blind sides.
If I'm not cowering in the corner.
Well,
No, that's pretty much where I'll be. Just look for the look for Isaac Clarke cowering in the corner.
which is completely the opposite of how it should be, because Isaac Clarke is more or less the action hero badass by the third game.
Yeah, but Carter's the Marine basically. So
Wait, so who's playing who?
The way we worked it out is I'm gonna play Carver and Newbie's gonna play Isaac, which is completely role reversal for us.
But since
Okay, no, Ellie, it isn't safe. But I'm on my way to
No kidding.
I'll call you when it's online.
there was such a gap because you were moving so slowly. It's just like, oh right, there was a conversation here.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that important. He was just affirming that yes, it was a bad idea to come here.
Do either of them have a different loadout, or are they basically identical?
It depends on the player. You could make it where you guys have this...
customization and different play styles probably leads to different loadouts.
Oh, okay. So normally they are basic. They are the same.
I mean, they start out the same. I think they both.
They both got the basic gun and the plasma cutter.
Right.
And from there, who knows? I don't know.
The engineering deck has not completed final cleanup and decontamination.
Isaac Clarke, fix everything, please.
Seriously, we've been waiting the whole game for you to get here. It's about
I wonder
time.
why he was never just contracted to be a part of the original Ijimura crew anyways.
Because Nicole was? That's actually...
Yeah, that's a very
but
good question,
Nicole
actually.
wasn't a engineer though.
No, yeah, she was a doctor. So that actually is a really good question. Why he wouldn't be a part of? I guess maybe the reason why is because Isaac mentions in the beginning of Dead Space 2 that prior to the whole what the hell did Yahtzee call it, the SS Kill Beats buffet or something like that?
Yeah.
I think that's what he calls the Ishimura. But anyway, the point is, before all that happens, they were supposed to decommission it anyway, which further makes me baffle as why they're restoring this thing in the first place. Because if they were just gonna break it down and...
Well, it's got history, right? It's kind of a legendary ship. It's like the first planet cracker. Something like that?
I guess. I
so
mean,
basically this restoration effort is kind of nostalgia?
like that battleship in Pearl Harbor that the hell is it called, the Minnesota?
Yeah, something to that effect.
But yeah, so I guess you could do that, but honestly, I think the reason that they renewed interest in it was more to do with what happened on there.
Oh
and
yeah,
not-
just to completely cover it up. Like,
yeah. And this is me debating over whether or not to get the vintage suit because it gives you a nice discount, but in the end, I decide against it.
right, and you can wear the standard suits kind of underneath your DLC suit, basically, right?
Yeah, something like that. Like any upgrades that I get to the suit. Like if I get max armor and inventory, that stays with me no matter what suit that I have. But I'm keeping the bloody suit because it powers up specific aspects of my weapons.
Yeah.
Okay. I say specific aspects, but really it's a flat damage increase for the particular weapons that I'm using. Now, on a side note, when I do pick up the force gun in the future, I will realize the fact that the bonus the gun itself gives is not a flat damage bonus, but it's actually a secondary fire damage increase, which explains a lot of what happens later on when I start using it.
Interesting.
And I'm just blathering on about that because I'm still dicking around over here.
Yeah, this is kind of something I've gotten used to, is that, alright, you're going to spend about a couple of minutes whenever there's a store.
And this is important, so I'm actually going to shut up.
Research summary organic material analysis. There are several shocking findings relating to the sludge-like material found throughout the Ishimura. First, it is human DNA. Second, and far more disturbing, it reanimates in the presence of a marker signal. The only conclusion we can come to is that the entire Ishimura crew was infected and reconstructed and then fell into a soupy DNA sludge when the Aegis 7 marker was destroyed.
By planet explosion.
Well, basically. Hard for even an alien marker to survive when a giant chunk of the planet impacts against the rest of the planet.
Well, it's not an alien marker, you know,
Well,
it was
Earth
manufactured.
Gov made in the image of the alien.
Well, how did they even get the signal right?
Good
Well-
question. I'm sure there's plenty of interesting things about how they recreated the original marker, but
Actually, you know, they go into great detail with that once we actually get into the government sector, so I'll hold off on explanations as far as
Ooh.
that goes.
lore and world building awaits.
Yes, which I'm sure will be great fodder for Phil at some point when he does a science fiction RPG or something.
And we have a maxed out flamethrower, I see.
Well, I didn't bother with the alt fire, but
Well-
I'm not looking on that.
Maxed out, I'm using, finger quotes here.
Actually,
this is-
funny you should mention the whole sci-fi RPG thing, because Dread and so forth are trying to start an only war game in the Warhammer 40k universe. So we'll have to deal with similar threats.
Now, by only war, I'm assuming
The
that
Imperial
means...
Guard.
Oh, okay.
Contamination. Initializing.
Oh, great, it's another one of these freaking containment decontamination things.
That don't clean a damn thing.
Seriously. You're still covered in blood.
Seriously, these decom chambers never really seem to work, especially considering the, you know...
And it's like, it's a decon chamber, but it sprays only regular plain old water, so we don't know quite what it's here for. Everyone
Well, you don't know-
gets a quick shower in their clothes. Great.
Well, I mean, it could be more than just water, but it won't help you all that much because you're in a freaking suit.
And it doesn't seem to affect the necromorphs any, so what's it doing?
Annoying the piss out of us.
Well, that's
that is the-
because
that is an answer to my question, yes, and it is accurate.
I'm blunt, but I'm occasionally right.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, no, you don't.
That's...
Uh-oh. Attack of the babies. Or bait.
No,
Oh,
it's,
wait.
it's just the world's deadliest crawler.
stomp him to dust.
I will reenact that scene from American History X.
I have no clue what that is.
Neither do I, and I don't even want to know.
I'll show you the clip after
No,
we're
no,
all
no, no,
done
no.
with this.
Please don't.